Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Grit, Give, Recognize, Implement Time podcast. I'm your host, Steve Nathanson, CEO and founder of Strive. Very similar to what we've been doing in prior episodes, we're going to be presenting real world questions that I answer a lot with the leaders and clients I work with. We're going to shift a little bit today to collaboration and answer the question of how do I get people to be more collaborative? And this may be a very pertinent question you're asking as a leader, as a manager, stepping into even maybe a team lead role. How do we get people to work together? In short, so let's focus on the individual first. How do I get people to be more collaborative? We're going to talk about how do we get teams to work together more efficiently next week. So for this conversation, one of the things that's critical is it begins with the we mentality versus the I mentality. And we've talked a lot about communication previously on this show and the difference of setting that intention of what do I need to say versus what do we need to get out of this conversation. When we start focusing on we instead of I, we naturally have a shift to be more collaborative. So when we talk about the we focus, it starts with the individual. What's their intention? What is it that they want? What do they value? These are things we're going to get into more detail on today. So let's start with that intention. If I, as an individual contributor who's been tasked to work with somebody, just focuses on, okay, I know what to do, I know what's best, I've got this, it's just kind of in my way, we're not looking at it in a way that's going to be collaborative. We're looking at it in a way that's kind of like, get out of my way, let me do my thing, and leave me alone. So the first thing to help people with is the mentality. What are they focusing on? And how is that dictating their approach? Now, that's one far side of the scale, let's say. Another thing that's along that scale is kind of the false nicety. What I mean by that is, yeah, let's be collaborative. Okay, great. Yeah, but still, we're going to go this way. Not someone who's truly listening or hearing other people. They still have that intention of, I know what's best. We're going to do what I'm going to do, but I'll just give somebody lip service. Not a mentality that is collaborative. It may come across a little bit better, but we have a pretty good meter for detecting someone who's being false and fake. So that can come across very clearly and cause dissonance in teams to break apart and individuals to feel like someone is not being collaborative. They just ignore what I have to say. They don't care about me. They're just doing whatever they want. Why'd they even ask me? My opinion doesn't matter. So again, it comes down to that mentality. So the very first fundamental thing we talk about in creating collaboration and helping people be more collaborative is understanding the mindset and the mentality that they go into conversations with, go into tasks with. Because if they're focused on those things of, this is what I need to do, I don't care about anybody else, I'm right, well, I'm just going to give them lip service, pretend that I'm going to listen to them and not really take them seriously, then we are going to come across as uncollaborative. So how do we shift that? We've talked about focusing on we instead of I. So some of the same tricks that we've talked about in communication apply here. What do we collectively want? How do we shift that focus from I to we, to the team, to the task at hand, to what it is that we're trying to achieve with, say, the project, the goals that we have? That's naturally going to shift people from I to we. So to set the clear intention that's not individual related, but it's task related, team related, goal related. It's a collaborative effort and culture on the team to work together. Again, we're going to talk a little bit more about teams next time. So focusing more on the I, that can happen through individual conversations with them. And one of the important things, too, I think that is very, very true in life is it's much more powerful to help people reach conclusions on their own versus telling them what to do. So it gets down to actually the next bullet point is the value, helping somebody see the value in being collaborative and working well with others. And that can run the gambit. It could be variable across the board because each of us are different, and that's okay. That can make it harder as leaders and managers to do this, but it's figuring out that value that matters. So, very prime example, let's say, is someone who is focused on advancing their careers. Maybe they're really good and they're strong and they're a great individual contributor. They've got great technical skills, but we need to work on the collaboration piece to help them advance that career. If advancing their career is something truly valuable to them, and this is a part of helping them get to that next level, is clearly outlined in the competencies for them to continue to grow their career, we can have those kind of conversations to help them see the value in, say, shifting that focus, that mentality, the way they interact with people, because it's now tied to a meaning and a purpose to them. There's value in engaging in a different way. When there's value, there's meaning, there's purpose, it's important. So that's one of these tricks is to find the value in helping someone be more collaborative because now there's going to actually be a purpose and it's going to be meaningful for them, to do it. And that's part of this next bullet point is the benefits, the necessity of it. That career growth example is a great one because the people skills, the soft skills, as we call them, which really truly are just their life skills, their necessity skills to be able to interact with. Those are things that become more and more important as we grow and advance our careers. We've all worked with somebody who's like, you know what, they're really good, but they're just hard to work with. They tend to get tucked away. They don't get advanced because they're missing this piece, what we're talking about, being collaborative. So part of the value is having those conversations, opening up, sharing the benefits of what it brings for them, seeing the necessity of it, say, in this path to advance their career, tying it all back to that value. Again, that's individualized. It's going to be different for each person. What I would say for us as managers and leaders is getting to know each of our people helps us understand what it is that they value. Maybe it's not career advancement. Maybe it's visible, high-level projects. Maybe it's cutting edge. And so to be a part of that is going to require to work together, to be collaborative, to value other people's ideas. So those are some things that can help us understand how do we start settling in that value for them by knowing what is going to actually make that come out and go, yeah, right, there is value there for me. I could see that. I want to note here that something that we do, I think, a little bit too often is expect instantaneous results, changes that happen overnight, instantaneously. We don't change overnight as human beings. We change over time. So this isn't just a one and done type of conversation. It's a continual growth trajectory. If we want to help people be collaborative, it's important to have these conversations to check in, help them build that skill set over time because we don't rewire our brains instantaneously. It doesn't happen that way. So it may take time for this to set in. And I wanted to note that because too often we said we had that conversation. Why didn't they do it? They're still failing after a week. We put too much emphasis on short time frames because we expect things to happen instantaneously, but that's not how we change as humans. With that, I will share one last thing I think is important for collaboration, which is communication. Getting back to the communication basics, words matter. We've talked about this a lot. How we approach and phrase our thoughts, it impacts the impression that others have of us, of if we're truly collaborative or if we're being selfish. And we hinted on this a little bit with the false niceties. Oh, I could tell they're just giving me lip service. Helping them choose the way that they phrase things, that they ask things, can have a huge impact on what we're talking about, collaboration. So part of this does truly get back to communicating. Your idea is dumb. Your idea is stupid. You're wrong. Those are all things that people can say that are going to turn off people, make others feel like that individual's not being collaborative. Hey, John, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that thought. It's an interesting thing. Thinking through it, I still think maybe that this is the direction we go, and here's, I think, why that perhaps is the way to go. There's a lot of difference between that and you're wrong. Helping people ensure that they communicate effectively, that's talking with people instead of just at them. That's making others feel like they've truly been heard and listened to. Because in life, even if the answer turns out to be something that it's not that I want, if I feel like I've truly been heard and considered, the answer I don't want plays a lot better in that scenario than someone just disregarding it from the beginning. So a big part of the collaboration is communication. So I would refer you back to a lot of the episodes we've already done on communication for further information on the words you, the word why, how to shift phrasing, the intention behind it, how do we go in conversations that we focus. We covered that a lot more in communication. So in short, to help people be collaborative, it is a shift from I to we. It's setting the intention of truly being collaborative, not just false niceties and lip service. Helping people see the value in doing that, knowing what that's going to lead to them, the payoff, the benefit of it, and communication. Helping them getting back to talking with each other, truly talking with each other versus just at each other. So I hope you've enjoyed today. If you have any questions, please let me know. But until the next time, remember, if we never ask, we'll never know. If we never try, we never will. Be the movement in your life.